We're about 3 days away from Christmas. We've got one more delivery today, a client flying in from Durban to take delivery of his Ranger Raptor. But in the meantime, we've sold the FF. That wasn't very long-lived. I actually kind of wanted a bit more time with it, but I did. After putting new tires on it, it really badly needed those, and bolting on this factory power plan from Ferrari. Ferrari allows up to 15 years of warranty extension through factory in Maranello. It covers all the major components: engine, gearbox, that dreaded PTU, which is the known weak point of the FFs. So after I did all of that, and I'd already actually taken a deposit on the car from a very good client of ours. In fact, the client who was the previous owner of this stunning black stallion, which we sold to him about beginning of the year, must be about 6-8 months ago. And I told him, I said, look, I know that you're keen, I know that you've paid a deposit now, but I'm still gonna go and drive this car. So I jumped in the car early one morning, like 4:30, 5 a.m. I went to Clarence Drive and I did an amazing 4-time run up and down Clarence Drive to experience that car before I could deliver it to the client. Obviously I do this because I want to know these cars, I want to experience these cars, and after we delivered it, he's super happy and I'm super happy because I love this black F430. This particular F430, apart from being non-red, this black or Nero Daytona, it's got a little bit of metallic in it, looks phenomenal. It just changes the entire character of this car. But apart from that, it's got a very high factory specification. It's got the fender shields, it's got carbon ceramic brakes, it's got the Daytona seats. Daytona seats, I can't say that I'm a huge fan of them. I think they're a little bit busy, but in this particular specification, where the actual leather ribbons that run across the seat are the same color as the rest of the seat, it's not overly contrasting and it doesn't look so busy. The whole story behind Daytona seats actually goes back to the race cars from like the 50s and 60s. Because of those little leather straps with the little cutouts in it, it would allow a little bit of sort of air circulation for the driver on endurance races like the Mille Miglia, the Le Mans. You know, these guys are in these cars for 9, 10, 12, 24 hours sometimes. They get pretty sweaty. So this was one way of kind of minimizing that and allowing the race car driver a little bit of comfort. Further to that, it's got a very seldom seen extra, which is the Bose surround sound system. They've actually cleverly positioned the subwoofer right underneath that empty spot where normally you'd see on any other F430, just underneath the sort of center console dash binnacle. We've got brand new Michelin Pilot 4S tires on the front of this car. The rears are just a couple years older, so still very good. This car as well has got this anthracite finish on the wheel. I'm really not a fan of black wheels, but I think this kind of goes with the whole theme of the car. This was not from factory. In fact, I know one of the previous owners, we've learned quite a lot of history about this car, and it was one of the previous owners who actually did this finish on the wheels. I think it looks cool. They actually complement this anthracite finish on both the intake surrounds. This is the factory spec finish. So if you've ever seen this painted black or any other color or body color on an F430, it's been redone. This color is the way that it should be. For anybody that's ever owned a black car, even if it's not an expensive Ferrari, you'll know what it takes to keep the thing clean, to keep the thing free from scratches, to just keep it looking good. This car, this has got full PPF, so the entire body of the car in this case is protected with a film, and that will prevent all small little scratches, stone chips, all of that kind of stuff. Definitely a worthy addition to this specification 430. This particular car is a 2008 year model. Again, later production car, so it's got the better hardware on the transmission and the clutch, better software, a heap of all other improvements that always find their ways to late model Ferraris. So always buy the late model car. There are still some issues though that you'll find on all of them throughout, from early production cars all the way through to the end. So if you're ever looking at an F430, do this when you come up to the car and just check the tail lights, make sure that they, oops. So this is a common issue, right? These tail lights, it gets really hot around this area. This F136 block can go up to 120 degrees operating temp. The exhaust is right there, and these little mounting points, they're plastic. So it's inevitable. It heats up, becomes more brittle, and you drive over a bump or something like that, and it snaps, and it lands up being this kind of situation. Luckily, it's not too difficult of a fix, but it is something that is pretty much common on every single one of them. Another fun fact about these taillights is they're actually the same taillights, same part number and everything that is on the Ferrari Enzo, this generation Ferrari's hypercar of the time. So exactly the same unit. I'm not sure if it does the same thing on an Enzo, but maybe one day I'll find out. The other big reason why I really love this black car is because at some point in its life, somebody decided to fiddle with its original factory exhaust. It's not uncommon for cars in the sort of around the 15 to 20 year vintage or younger even to start clogging up their catalytic converters, which are the units inside the exhaust system that control emissions and all of that stuff. And if we were in the UK, we'd be in a lot of trouble because it's an annual MOT test, they test emissions and so on. But we're not in the UK, so we can actually do whatever we want. And when we want to cut the catalytic converter out of it and straight pipe the bastard, then we can really have a lot of fun. Come check this out. So this particular car had its cats cut out and replaced with apparently some Novitec bits. I'm not exactly sure which ones, but it's something that I heard from one of the previous owners. But over there, you can have a look where normally the cat would sit. There's actually just one big metal pipe there running through to the back exhaust, to the exhaust box. The nice thing is that they still have the valves inside there, so you don't have to be obnoxiously loud everywhere you go, as long as you sort of keep your throttle down to about 40% or less, it won't open the valve. But once you do, oh geez, this one is a screamer. It's a spicy meatball, huh? This exhaust, oh, that's very loud. I think this is definitely a weekend special Ferrari. You couldn't daily drive this with the exhaust so loud all the time. But, you know, most people don't daily drive their Ferraris, and especially F430s. Like, one thing is an FF or a Cali or something like that. A lot easier to live with on a daily. This is a race car, F1 transmission, it's a very engaging drive. we've spoken about 430 many times. They are wonderful, wonderful pieces of kit. So I suppose the exhaust is fitting for this black car. I know, I don't want to go very street. You see people running for their life across the road. I feel like Lucifer in this thing. Everybody's getting out of the way. They're like, oh my God. It must look a little bit more imposing than the red car and the black. No, we're good. There was a black plastic bag, a Dementor, flying around. We hit it. I just didn't want it to get stuck somewhere in the grill or somewhere else as we're about to tackle Duval Drive with a bit of pace. So, you ready, Morgs?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's put it in a race for 10% quicker shift speed.
That is so quick.
You know when I said I love this car, I fucking love this car. Yes, yes. Also love Duval Drive. It's like the road in the city for the driver. It's good fun. The amount of times I've been flipped off on Duval Drive, countless. Caught so many of these there. I respond with one of these. Tunnel. Home safe. So we've made a few steps in the direction of YouTube this year. I think about 6 videos now. this one is going to be our last one for 2024. I just want to take this moment to thank everybody who's helped us this year. We've achieved so much. We're truly blessed and very excited about moving into year 2025. We've got a lot of interesting projects on the horizon, some really big stuff, some really scary stuff a little bit for me as well. But I'd like to use this opportunity to extend my thanks to all of our suppliers, the guys that help us out on short notice, in emergencies, the guys that help us with all of our detailing and are quick to act and easy on our pockets. And we would also like to obviously extend a tremendous gratitude to our beloved clients. It's that repeat business. You know who you are. The guys that we've retained for years now that continue coming back to Mother City Car Company, picking up the phone, sending me a WhatsApp and going, Art, I'll do another deal with you. Art, what's the deal with that car? Can I buy it? And I think by now, a lot of them already know that if it's on this floor, then it's good to go. And if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for them. So thank you so much. We really love you all, and we wish you an amazing festive season, a Merry, Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones, and of course, the most prosperous and incredible 2025. We look forward to be a part of it with you, and we look forward to you being a part of our 2025, our best year to date.